Story number 1, The Whispering Attic. If you enjoy this content and want to see more, please subscribe and turn on notifications to support the channel. This story originates from a small town in Vermont known for its historical significance and, unfortunately, its fair share of unsettling legends. It revolves around the Miller House, a two-story colonial with a reputation for strange occurrences. Sarah, a local teenager, found herself at the center of one such event during a sleepover with her friends, Emily and Chloe. The night began with the usual sleepover chaos, giggling over gossip, painting elaborate nail designs, and devouring bowls of popcorn. As the night wore on, the girls found themselves drawn to the mystery surrounding the attic. The Millers, Sarah's aunt and uncle, had always kept it locked, citing structural concerns. Curiosity, however, proved too strong. Sarah, the most daring of the three, retrieved a forgotten key from her aunt's cluttered junk drawer. A tense silence filled the room as they crept up the creaky stairs, the key turning reluctantly in the lock. A stale, dusty scent greeted them as they pushed open the attic door, revealing a dimly lit space filled with cobwebs and forgotten furniture. An old rocking chair stood in the center, its worn fabric swaying slightly despite the still air. A shiver ran down Sarah's spine. The only source of light was the sliver of moonlight filtering through a dusty window. As they cautiously ventured deeper, a scratching sound came from behind a pile of dusty trunks. Chloe, ever the skeptic, scoffed. "Probably just a stray animal," she muttered. But the sound stopped and started again, more insistent this time. Emily, wide-eyed, clung to Sarah's arm. Sarah, her heart hammering, grabbed a rusty lantern hanging from a hook on the wall and lit it with shaky hands. They gingerly approached the source of the sound. As the lantern light fell on the object, they gasped. A small, ornately framed picture lay face down amidst the clutter. Sarah bent down to pick it up, brushing away the dust. The image revealed a young girl, her features eerily similar to Sarah's, with a sorrowful expression on her face. A chilling whisper brushed past their ears, "Don't take it." The girls huddled together, their eyes darting around the dimly lit room. The scratching sound had stopped, replaced by an unsettling silence. Fear turned their legs to lead. They scrambled back towards the attic door, Sarah clutching the picture tightly. Reaching the doorway, they slammed the door shut and fumbled with the lock. As they finally secured it, a wave of relief washed over them. But just as they turned to leave, another whisper echoed in the room, this time louder and full of despair, "Help me." The girls fled down the stairs, their laughter forgotten. Back in Sarah's room, they huddled together under the covers, the picture still clutched in Sarah's hand. They dared not discuss what they heard. They slept little that night, haunted by the whispers and the unsettling portrait. The next morning, Sarah confessed to her aunt about the attic adventure. Her aunt, visibly shaken, revealed the picture belonged to Sarah's great-grandmother, Elizabeth. She had vanished from the house mysteriously at a young age, never to be seen again. The attic had been locked ever since. The local historical society confirmed Elizabeth's disappearance but offered no explanation. Sarah never returned to the attic, but the memory of the whispers and the portrait remained a chilling reminder of the secrets the old house held. The chilling encounter at the Miller house became a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes, the past whispers secrets those who dare to listen may not be prepared to hear. Story number 2, The Forgotten Graveyard. This story takes inspiration from the chilling phenomenon of brown mountain lights, mysterious flickering lights reported in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina. It centers around a group of friends, Jake, Maya, and Ben, on a camping trip in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Their excitement for the outdoors quickly turns to unease as they discover an unmarked graveyard hidden deep within the woods. The night started with the crackling campfire, shared stories, and the comforting symphony of crickets chirping. As the flames dwindled, Jake, the self-proclaimed leader of the group, proposed a nighttime hike to explore the surrounding woods. Maya, always the cautious one, hesitated, but Ben's enthusiasm swayed her. Venturing deeper into the woods, the air grew heavy and silent. The only light came from their flashlights, cutting through the dense foliage. Suddenly, Ben stopped, pointing ahead. A faint, flickering orange glow pulsed in the distance, seemingly hovering amongst the trees. Intrigued by the mysterious lights, they approached cautiously. The glow emanated from a clearing they hadn't noticed before. As they stepped into the clearing, a sense of dread washed over them. Crumbling, weathered headstones marked the ground, an unmarked graveyard forgotten by time. The flickering lights danced amongst the headstones, creating an eerie spectacle. An unsettling silence hung heavy in the air, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. Maya, her voice trembling, suggested they head back. Jake, however, fueled by bravado, insisted on exploring further. Ben, drawn to a particularly ornate headstone, bent down to read the inscription. The inscription, barely visible with age, spoke of a young boy named Thomas, who died tragically at a young age. As Ben finished reading, a chilling whisper echoed through the graveyard, "Don't disturb their sleep." Panic surged through them. The flickering lights intensified, swirling around them like angry fireflies. The air grew heavy, and a suffocating feeling tightened around their chests. Jake, dropping his flashlight in his haste, stumbled backward, tripping on a fallen branch. His scream pierced the silence as he landed on a headstone, a sickening crack echoing through the night. The whisper, now more insistent, filled the air, "Leave, or join them." Fear replaced bravado. Scrambling to their feet, they helped Jake up, ignoring the sharp pain throbbing in his ankle. They fled the graveyard, the flickering light seeming to follow them for a moment before fading away behind the trees. Back at their campsite, their faces pale and hearts pounding, they huddled together for warmth. The fire, once comforting, now seemed to cast grotesque shadows on the surrounding trees. Sleep was impossible. Every rustle of leaves sent chills down their spines. The next morning, their fear subsided enough for them to examine Jake's ankle. It was swollen and obviously sprained. They knew they couldn't stay the night and gingerly helped Jake pack up. As they left the campsite, they took one last look at the direction of the graveyard. The clearing seemed to have vanished, replaced by dense foliage. It was as if the graveyard itself had chosen to remain hidden. Newspapers later reported increased sightings of the brown mountain lights near the area where they had camped. Jake, his ankle a constant reminder of their encounter, swore never to venture near unexplained lights again. They never spoke about the graveyard, the whispers, or the feeling of unseen eyes watching them from the darkness. The memory, however, remained, a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, and the secrets they hold are better left buried. Story number 3, The Radiostatic Symphony. This story draws inspiration from the unsettling phenomenon of electronic voice phenomena, EVP, where recordings capture voices or sounds not present during the recording. It follows a group of friends, Claire, Liam, and Noah, on a weekend getaway to a remote cabin nestled deep in the woods. The cozy cabin offered a welcome respite from the city's hustle and bustle. The first day was filled with exploring the surrounding woods and enjoying the peacefulness of nature. On the second night, after a hearty dinner, they decided to try something a little different, EVP recording. Liam, the group's resident tech enthusiast, brought along a handheld recorder. They settled around a crackling fire, the flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the cabin walls. Liam explained the concept of EVP, how recordings sometimes captured voices from the spirit world. A nervous excitement filled the air. With a click, Liam started recording. They sat in comfortable silence, the crackling fire and the occasional howl of a distant coyote their only companions. After a few minutes, Liam stopped the recording and began playback. Nothing. Disappointment settled over them. Undeterred, they decided to try another location. This time, Liam positioned the recorder near an old, dusty radio perched on a shelf in the corner. The radio, filled with decades of accumulated dust, looked more like a relic from a bygone era. They started the recording, and the air crackled with static. As Liam adjusted the dial, a sudden surge of energy filled the room. The static intensified, turning into a cacophony of distorted voices, whispers, and muffled laughter. They stared at the radio, their hearts pounding. As the recording continued, a distinct voice broke through the static. It was a woman's voice, filled with sadness. "Help me. Trapped." The words echoed eerily in the cabin, the hair on their arms standing on end. The recording ended abruptly, leaving an oppressive silence in its wake. The mood in the cabin shifted. Fear replaced their lightheartedness. They huddled together, unsure of what to make of the EVP recording. Was it just a trick of the static, or was there something more? They debated erasing the recording, but a morbid curiosity kept them from doing so. The following days were filled with an unsettling tension. Every creak of the cabin, every rustle of leaves outside the window, sent shivers down their spines. They kept the radio turned off, its dusty form a constant reminder of the unsettling encounter. Back in the city, they played the recording again. The static remained, but the woman's voice was gone. They reached out to paranormal investigators, but no conclusive explanation was ever found. The unsettling EVP recording remained a chilling mystery, a constant reminder of their encounter in the remote cabin. They continued to be friends, but the experience left an indelible mark. They rarely spoke about the cabin or the recording, the memory carrying the weight of something unexplained, a haunting symphony of static and whispers that echoed in the recesses of their minds. If you enjoy this content and want to see more, please subscribe and turn on notifications to support the channel.